What's up, guys, and welcome to The Positive Pathway. Today I have a very special guest, Ildiko Kissimon, or as we affectionately know her as, Diko. Diko is an actress and filmmaker who believes in the power of creating powerful and impactful stories through various media. Welcome to the show, Diko.
Thank you so much, Stuart. I'm really grateful to be here and sharing, and thank you so much for the invitation.
It is extremely my pleasure and our pleasure. So, Diko, why don't we start with you sharing a little bit about yourself and how you found yourself in Singapore? I'd really like to know.
Okay, so basically, I am based in Shanghai. Well, not anymore, but I was based in Shanghai for almost 8 years. I moved to China after I graduated, and I just studied there and worked there. And the last 2 years, I've been working in the Chinese film industry as an actress. And how I found myself in Singapore, that's funny. So every year you have a Chinese New Year, and that's the time when nothing happens in China, like literally nothing. Companies stop, production stop, everybody goes for a travel. So this is the time when I also usually travel, and sometimes in China and sometimes outside of China. And this time I was planning to visit Singapore because my boyfriend lives here in Singapore, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna visit him. We are in a long distance relationship, and I was like, okay, cool. I visit him, and 2 weeks later I go back to China and go back to my normal life, which is mostly acting and teaching acting, a little bit of teaching English, and I'm also part of the filmmakers community there. We call it the China Indie Filmmakers Association. So we produce short movies, usually kind of like a passion project. We organize the 48 hours. So I was actually pretty excited to go back to China because my life is there. We also have a community theater called East West Theater, and we were planning to put on the Into the Woods show in the spring. But as we all know, COVID hit. And that basically just led me to, forced me. It sounds kind of strong, but that's what happened, forced me to stay here. Because when I wanted to go back, I actually booked 3 different flights, but they were all canceled. And then China closed down the borders, and then Singapore closed down the borders, and then circuit breaker happened. And then I still can't go back to China because foreigners are not allowed to go back. And then I was like, okay, well, I guess I can't go back anymore. And how long you are going to wait for something? How long are you going to have this thought in your mind? Okay, one day I will go back, and then preparing for it. So then I kind of like switched my plans. I call it like reiterated. And I was like, okay, that's it. Probably I just have to stay in Singapore. I mean, I'm just like staying in Singapore and try to do pretty much the same things as I did in China. So this is how I ended up here.
Great. Now, one thing I did notice, Diko, is that you've managed to remain incredibly positive the whole time. Now, don't know if I'd be able to be so positive if I got stuck in another country. But you seem to have taken it all in your stride. What have you done to make the glass half full instead of half empty? How do you keep so positive?
Well, in generally speaking, I believe that staying positive is just so much better than staying negative because it at least like puts you in a good mood, and then you try to cheer up yourself and cheer the people around you. And then you also look better when you're positive, because when you smile and you're joyful, when you are negative and sad, my face doesn't even look good. So sometimes when I used to teach, some people were telling me like, you have to smile all the time because the kids will like it. So I kind of got used to this, putting the smile on my face because I look happy. But okay, to be really serious about this question, for me, what really works is something called reframing. And I'm pretty sure if you are a positivity coach, you are pretty much aware of this. I call it tool. So what I did is I just looked at my situation, like really objectively, and I saw that this is what it is. And there are certain things that we can't control. Like, unfortunately, I don't have any superpowers and I can't fly back to China, or I don't have any superpowers to stop the spread of the virus. I only have things on my hand like time, um, places, people I can talk to. And then instead of focusing on the things I don't have or I can't control, I shifted all my focus on the things that I can control. And one of them was the time. We were all locked up. Of course, you are frustrated. Like I was frustrated that I couldn't go back. That's I want to be honest about it. I was, because I really wanted to go back. There are a couple of movies which are happening there, but then I was like, I can't. It doesn't help. It just doesn't help. Like, I'm being frustrated and stressed. I was like, okay, that's it. Enough. I can't go back. That's it. It's a fact. I can't change that. And then I started to focus on things that I have. So time. So I started to use my time in a much more productive way. I was like, okay, I have a lot of time on my hand. What can I do? What are the things that I always wanted to do? I can't go out. So I did bunch of online learning, a lot, something about cinematography, video editing, Photoshop. I actually passed a couple of courses, probably more than like 500 learning hours, some on LinkedIn, some on some other software. And I started to do more videos, and I have an acting coach. So we were doing a lot of acting classes, and I actually did bunch of like self-tapes and like scene studies, which before I never had time, because like I feel when you are in the life, like I was always doing a lot of things in China, not just filming and acting, but I'm also part of like social impact and environmental communities. So every day I used to go home around 10 p.m. and I never had time to, sit down and maybe read a play or do some scene study, analyze a script. And then this 6 months, I had a lot of time. So my coach was also saying that we can see a significant improvement because I had a lot of time to practice, and acting is something like that. The more time you put in, and at least I believe the better you get at it. So yeah, I just shifted my focus to the things that I can control.
Fantastic. Now, I know you and I share several common interests, one of them being martial arts. Now, can I ask what daily practices do you have that keeps you healthy body, healthy mind? I know it's important for my mental health to have a healthy body. How about you?
In the morning, I wake up and I usually do 5 minutes meditation. And then I do just like a breathing meditation. I don't necessarily do any visualization. I just focus on my breathing. Because I did a silent retreat called Vipassana in Burma 2 years ago. And that's where I learned this technique. It's called the Anapana, when you just basically focus on your breathing. It's really great. It already helps me to um, basically wake up and kind of like gather my thought, probably opening some of my chakras. And the other thing which I do is Qigong. But I do Qigong throughout the day. Maybe it's just like really 5 movements, maybe just like one minute. I'm waiting for the bus, and instead of looking at my phone, I just do a little bit of very simple Qigong. I learned Qigong in China. I learned different type of Qigong. One of them is the Unity Qigong, which was created by a Malaysian, I think she's Malaysian lady called Kat. I don't know if you heard about it. And the other one is more like a traditional Chinese Qigong. And stretching, of course, it's a very important part of my day. Also, throughout the day, just like do And I do martial arts 3 times a week. So I do Bak Mei, Wing Chun, and well, some kicking. I'm not sure what kind of style is it, because I really want to get better at kicks. So maybe something like Muay Thai.
Right.
Yeah.
And what's the first one? Can you explain that to the audience?
Bak Mei. Okay, so Bak Mei is a southern style of Kung Fu.
Nice.
It's also a little bit more upper body movement, not so much kicking.
Okay.
And one of the significant move is the whipping. It's called the Bing Choi. It's like a whip. It's the significant move of Bak Mei.
Fantastic. Well, sounds like you've got a lot of healthy body activities going on every day. What about, do you do any affirmations or anything like that? Just curious.
Yes, I do. I wouldn't say I do it daily. Whenever it just comes to me, then I do, and some visualization as well.
Nice.
And then I try to talk positively to myself most of the time, except when I'm doing a role, because then you need to get into an emotional state, and that's when I'm like talking a lot of bad things to me, because I need to cry, or I need to get into that kind of mood. Then it's a different thing. But in general speaking, yeah, try to like have a lot of kind of practicing self-love as much as possible.
Fantastic.
Try not to blame myself, not to punish myself.
Good. And some positive self-talk, unless you're trying to get into character.
Unless that's a different thing.
Now that you are in Singapore, what type of opportunities are you looking for in Singapore? I'll give you a plug. Perhaps someone can help find these opportunities.
Yeah, definitely acting. Mostly I focus on screen acting, but I wouldn't mind if there is like a theater production and I'm a part of it. If it doesn't conflict with my other stuff, which is happening right now. I really like improv, so I'm going to practice improv again. I used to be part of the improv group in Shanghai called SMAC. And I know because of the circuit breaker, nothing really happens here, but slowly things are opening up. So I'm actually even going to be a part of an improv course at the HCAC, which I'm super excited about.
Fantastic.
And basically, I would like to create interesting stories. One of my passion is environment. I haven't really figured out how can I merge passion for environment. I'm kind of a plasticarian, which means I don't use plastic unless it's the last thing to do. So I carry a bamboo straw with me because I love to drink coconut, like a fresh coconut water. But they always give you the plastic, and I don't like it. So I have a bamboo straw. I have like a glass bowl in case there is some food waste. I can take it home, and just say no to plastic bag. I always have like a grocery bag with me and stuff like that. So this is and something that I'm really interested, but I'm more interested in acting and filmmaking when I'm trying to kind of create some maybe web series or short movie which is somehow combines these two, but I haven't really figured out. So I'm talking to people and trying to see, because I want to come up with a narrative, some interesting story, maybe a comedy, but at the same time the message is really about that we need to take care of the environment and we shouldn't use so much plastic.
Great.
But if anyone would like to not just like have an actor, but maybe has an idea and say like, okay, I want to produce a movie and I'm creating the group, I would really love to be part of that as well. And what I noticed in Singapore in this very short time, that there are a lot of filmmaker groups, but they don't really know each other. So I also hope that create this kind of a really a nice community of independent filmmakers here in Singapore, where people are helping each other, and we basically put Singapore on the map, saying like, yes, Singapore is capable of producing interesting movies. since this is my home now Singapore is the most important.
Fantastic. And now I want to help promote you a little bit more, but I want to thank you for being on the show today, Diko, but I don't want you to respond in English, okay? I want you to wrap it up in Chinese, okay? So,
okay, sure.
well, I'll thank you and you can respond in Chinese. So thank you so much for your insights today, Diko. I've put a link to Diko's IG account in the description if you want to get in contact with her. And again, I thank you so much for being on the show. I'm super grateful.
Thank you. So this is the time when I have to speak Chinese?
Yes, now you speak Chinese.
Okay. All right. 非常感谢。我非常开心有这个机会可以收到你的访谈。
There you go. So if
Shall I translate what I said?
No, what did you say?
I said something bad about you. No, I'm just kidding. I said that thank you so much for the opportunity for this interview. Basically, thank you so much. It was great. I love to share and actually I'm so happy to meet you. I always believe that things in my life happen kind of, well, it's a cliche, but they happen for a reason.
Yes.
Person who likes acting, likes martial arts, also like a positivity coach. I'm super happy and I was really excited and actually really surprised when you asked me, and I was like, oh, this is great. Things are happening in Singapore and I'm excited what's happening next, what the future holds for us.
You're the perfect guest, and anyone who needs an actress who can speak Chinese as well as English. There wouldn't be many in Singapore, but we know one now.
Yes, right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Diko. So that's all for the show today, folks. If you like this video, please subscribe to the channel. If you have any suggestions for the channel, I would love to hear them. And don't forget to smash that like button. And remember, respect one another. Respect. Bye for now.
Respect. Love.
Nice.